of course, we start with this. Oh.
It's like what we spoke about last week. Tommy can just do like the normal stuff, but just it's amplified because he's new.
Yeah, you can't do anything wrong today, Tommy.
We're focusing on it. Yeah.
All right, bear with me for this one.
Oh God.
So pronunciation going to be tough. I'm going to say Gomf. So Gomf.
Gomf. Sounds German.
Sorry, that's how I have to pronounce it. It's spelling GOMPH. OLOBIUM. So
Hang on.
Gomfolobum.
BIM, did you say?
BIUM.
IUM. Oh, wow.
So pronounced like
Gomphalobium. Yeah.
Gomphalobium. Yep.
Yeah. So is it a native flower that grows along the east coast of Australia or a swollen canine anal gland?
Wow.
Rogue.
I'm trying to think
I'm going to go the anal gland.
I'm going the anal gland too.
You're both wrong.
Oh, damn it.
Seduced by the gland.
Yeah. I just thought that's where your brain would have gone. Anyway.
Yeah,
reckon it's
it
the
sounds
first-
like something that would be.
First time you both haven't
Both bust.
Yeah.
Oh,
Huge.
One goes down, we go down together.
Yeah. Except for this week in the footy. Of course, two very, very good games of footy. And unfortunately for Harry, it was the wrong side of the ledger. But we'll start with you, Ben. We'll start with the winners.
Yeah.
What a game. What an unbelievable finish. You look cooked.
What
You look
happened?
tired.
I actually didn't watch it, so I honestly I checked the scores
I'll
like at
I'll
3/4 time and it looked like you guys were done, and then checked after the game and you'd won.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the first quarter felt pretty even. I think we had 65% time and forward half. It felt like we were sort of on top and had the game on our terms. The second and third quarter it probably felt like they were on top a little bit. They were converting a lot of their chances. They're very accurate inside 50. We were getting the ball inside our half, but not converting. Probably still enough as what we would have liked. They're very slick. Some of their users like Young, like Hayden Young, like those sort of guys, just like really silky, smooth movers. It made us hard to defend at times. And at 3/4 time, I was saying off air, it didn't feel like we were in it or out of it. It was sort of in that grey area where like we had a lot of things sort of going well, but just, we needed a bit of a spark, it felt. And it's amazing what a bit of momentum does. I know we've spoken on this podcast before about momentum, but, we got our tails up, I felt like, in the first 10 minutes of the last quarter and went whack, whack, whack and really put ourselves in a good position. So, we've been involved in a lot of close games this year.
That's true.
Yeah, it's like a lot, and it's probably starting to feel a fraction more comfortable. Like I remember in my first couple of close games this year, it's like, wow, this is intense. And they're always intense, but it's sort of solution focused instead of like, wow, this is crazy. So obviously conceded that goal late from Amos, and then I think there was like 20 seconds left or something. And then sort of the rest is history from Duz. So crazy finish, and without stating the obvious, we obviously needed it. So it's a pretty good feeling.
I know you probably aren't involved in the centre clearance kind of structures and setups and stuff, but I think it was Joey Montagna on First Crack pointed out that it was the exact same set play, the Draper tap for Merritt on the run as was in the Adelaide game, late in the Adelaide game. Yeah. Are you guys aware of that kind of thing?
Not particularly. I just think it's amazing how it's like both teams would have plans, right? But the ability to execute it. Obviously, Drapes and Darcy were going at it in the ruck. So first and foremost, for Drapes to land and execute that hit is the first piece of it. Zach to get on the fly and get his timing right. It was almost like a 1 in a million play in terms of how clean and crisp it was.
It was so crisp.
Yeah, because you would ask the Freo mids and they'd have something similar they were planning to execute, and the ability to say it, but then to do it is two different things. So even Duz actually has a lot of opportunities like that. He finds himself, with his breakaway speed, his ability to finish in front of goal was something he works on quite a lot. So even his ability to take a bounce and take it upon himself was probably a little difference from the Adelaide game. We probably yeah, this one I felt like we generated the right shot, whereas against Adelaide, maybe just
Yeah.
sort of like rushed it a little bit. And I remember Brad said publicly and internally that, you know, you need to go through those really hard losses in some of those moments and RFIs to right your wrongs a little bit. And
Yeah.
felt like that, especially the midfield group, took big onus in that moment. And full credit to those guys inside because, yeah, it was pretty stressful moment in terms of what was on the line. So for them to stand up and execute, as I said, is first class.
And Durham, he's found himself in those positions before, of course.
Yeah.
The winning goal against Richmond last year,
Yep.
dream time. So
Yep.
congratulations to him. This is him post-game on Triple M talking about Brad Scott's message during the week.
Yeah, it's like your dad or mum, you know, just giving you that look in the eye, not saying anything. It's like, you know, you up, but but you know you've done it, so you got to respond. It's like when you kick the footy into the window or something. It's like, oh no.
Can you relate to that, both of you? If you're like a disappointed coach,
Yeah.
does it feel like that?
Yeah, definitely. I can't believe it does.
Just drop the magic.
It so does. Yeah, well, going back to what he said in terms of Brad throughout the week, he was very pointed, and we all were, and you know, there's no denying that there was some very hard conversations, and rightfully so. You know, no one walked out of those meetings thinking, "Oh, that's unfair." It was very fair.
After the Saints loss.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, it was something we needed to see, and here he probably summed it up well. It's like you never want to hear it, but you need it. And so to a lot of guys' credits, you know, there's a couple of personal, not pointing out, but a couple of examples that we all wanted to sort of go to work on, improve and right the wrong. So you know, a couple of those guys stood up, and ultimately it was crucial in our season. So it was a really disappointing. It's like that's footy, isn't it? Though, like literally 1 week we're flat as a pancake, and this week we're enjoying the highs of a 1-point win. So if that doesn't sum up the season, I don't think anything will. So.
Aiden wanted to know about those highs. Here's a question from him.
G'day boys, it's Aiden from Caroline Springs. Just a question for Ben. How good must that feel after all the stuff said about the team and the media this week and repeating last year? That must feel amazing for the boys and must hopefully fill you guys with confidence for the rest of the season. Also wondering how Dersman's doing. He looked really sore, sort of limping off the ground into the rooms after the game. Anyway, go Dons.
I think
thanks,
Aiden's at the local laundromat, potentially.
Yeah, just waiting for his wife.
Yeah. Thanks for calling in, though, mate.
We don't mind that. Thanks,
No,
mate.
that's great.
I personally, and a lot of the boys don't sort of read too much into the external, but yeah, absolutely, mate. Like it's, as I said earlier, the highs and lows of footy from 1 week. They say, you know, the cliche, it's a long time. 1 week's a long time in footy, so it's never been more true than yesterday afternoon. Which is, I mean, you play for tight moments and big wins, so it was crucial. And I think Aiden's right in terms of Freo are an extremely good side, and I think they were top four. And certainly there or thereabouts in terms of the top echelon of the comp. So to get a win in those situation or that situation means a lot. And our next 3 weeks is really important. We play some really good teams. So if we were to qualify, I think that would give us some good momentum and confidence. Obviously, it's a lot to play out, but I think the test that we've got some good teams to finish will really give us an indication of where we're at. So we're lucky in terms of who we get to play. And Durs, I didn't realise, but I think he injured himself in the last couple of minutes. So I spoke to him today, and he wasn't sure on the results yet. But by the time this is probably out, I'm sure some of the news will come to light. But it's cruel, isn't it? We saw it in the Collingwood and Carlton game as well with the Goey. The season-ending type ideas of injuries. At the moment, it's really hard to get your head around, and you feel for the player. So hopefully Durs is all right, and hopefully we can not make it the last appearance of his season. But thinking of Durs.
So obviously a lot of teams playing each other that are all around your mark this week, and then you've got the Suns on Saturday night. If you win that, all of a sudden the top 8 is realistic again, and then you've got a tough run home from memory. Is it Sydney and Brisbane?
In Brisbane, and that's what I said earlier in terms of internally. I think we're really good at identifying that this is a really important month, obviously, but the teams that we're playing, they're the top caliber of the competition at the moment. So if we can perform and we are good enough to qualify, then that should give us some type of confidence if it went that way. So I think we're lucky to play against some top teams this late in the year. Gives you really good feedback. I'm sure Harry could agree with that. But really important few weeks coming up.
Yeah, it's bloody tight, isn't it?
Oh, well, destiny's in your hands, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
If,
I think
if you keep winning,
that's what I was thinking about today. It's like it's never been so clear the picture of this last 3 or 4 weeks that if you're good enough and you win, you'll make it. If not, you won't, and that's certainly for our situation. So I think that gives you real clarity and real simplicity, and that's sort of freeing as an athlete and a player. So exciting few weeks coming up.
There would never have been a season this close with 3 rounds left.
I think I've heard
Surely not.
statistically it is in the AFL era, so since 1990. It's just, I don't think anything can even compare with this.
No.
So unfortunately for Carlton, a win, maybe by another couple of goals, would have seen you in 3rd position, but the 3-point loss means you're currently in 8th. And it was, of course, Mitch McGovern after the siren. He has history of kicking goals against Collingwood after the siren.
Yeah.
And Neil wanted to bring it up. We'll get his question first.
Hi guys, it's Neil from Clayton, and this is just a question for, I guess, both, but more specifically for Harry. And it'd just be, how would you guys deal with such heartbreaking losses? And then specifically for Carlton, on Saturday, how did the group sort of get around Gov after he missed the shot? Thanks.
Yeah, it's obviously anytime someone has a shot after the siren and misses, or like a close loss, it can always be really disappointing. But
You've been involved in a few now.
yeah,
Your own club.
I've been on both sides of a few.
Yeah.
And it's like heartbreaking or really,
Ecstasy,
so it's which is, I guess, a beautiful part about sport. But there's no different. Like, we win together, we lose together. A lot of us were actually saying after the game, if you could have picked anyone to have a set shot to win the game, you probably would have picked Gov. So, that's footy sometimes. And I thought he had an awesome game, Mitchell, and especially in the second half to get us going, he was huge. So even to put himself in that spot to take a mark and give yourself a chance to win it, that's all you can really do as an athlete in the team, is give yourself a chance. And wouldn't have rather anyone else's hands. So Gov's doing well. Everyone, as I said, got around him, and we win together, we lose together. It's part of footy. It was a cool moment. Anytime, obviously, there's quite a lot of emotion as a player, especially right at that time. But look, like as time goes on, those moments are cool to be part of, and those final big games are the ones you want to play in. So it was obviously really disappointing, but I thought we actually played some pretty solid footy across the night, and even though we couldn't necessarily capitalise and kick goals, I thought that was some of the best footy we'd probably played in a month. So all the right stuff's there. It's just about finishing off. Yeah.
Similar to how Essendon stormed home, you just had 3 goals in the space of about 2 minutes there, it felt like, and gave yourself a chance. Just an extraordinary game in front of another huge crowd, about 88,000 there.
Yeah, it was huge. It was really loud. That was as loud as I've heard in a long time as well. And as I said before, just playing in those type of games, those finals type of games, it's why you play footy. It's the best part of the year, and we love being in those moments. And I think there's a real belief in the group at the moment that no matter what time of the game or where we are, like if we can get on a roll and we can come back from anywhere, or we can be competitive right up until the last siren. So it was part of Bossie's message, was really disappointing, and there's areas we need to get better at, but also to fight for 120 minutes and give ourselves a chance to win it was encouraging as well. So, but that's footy, and this time of year everything's so close. So
Matt had a question that kind of touches on that area.
Hey boys, Matt from South Bank here. Question for H. What are the Blues going to change to get back on the winners list and make a run for finals? Go Baggers.
Yeah, thanks for the question, Matt. As I said, I don't think a lot changes this time of year. Ben can probably attest to it as well. It's not like you're reinventing anything or changing the wheel. It's more about executing for a little bit longer and for larger parts of the game and taking the most of the opportunities. It's as I said, it's so tight and so close, and a lot of teams throughout a 4-quarter game get their run on and play some really good footy. So it's about capitalising on that. And we'll have a look at a few things this week, I'm sure, but that we can tidy up on and go after a little bit closer. But essentially it's our way and how we've been playing for the majority of the year just for a little bit longer, and we'll give ourselves a really good chance to win. So, yeah, it's a fun time of year to be part of, and as I said before, it's it's so close and anything can happen. But yeah, it's why you play footy, and yeah, it's really cool to be a part of a year that's so close. I reckon. It's you'd love to be, know you're completely locked in, but then there's something exciting about the fact that there's so many different scenarios that can happen.
Yeah. So last year you won 9 straight in the back end, 9 of your last 10. And then this year, you're currently here, you've won 1 of your last 5. So it's kind of like it's flipped on its head. You had a better position this year, and you're still in a similar spot. Did you feel that going in week to week, or does it just feel like if we win this, we're suddenly back in the top 4 contention? Do you feel like momentum week to week compared to last year?
Yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one. I reckon the first half of the year kind of sums up how you maybe perceive the year, because I remember last year, a lot of it was like, oh yeah, we're on a bit of a roll, but like, thank God we're just not going as badly as we were in the first half. And then all of a sudden it turned into like it was a really strong. We made a prelim, but it was still prefaced by the fact that we had a poor start.
Yeah.
So it kind of felt like, oh, what a strange year, because like emotionally it still felt like we'd had a bad year because of the first half. If that makes sense. Yeah. And then this year's kind of been the opposite. I reckon we've been really consistent throughout the whole year. So it feels like we've had a more consistent home and away season, and that's something Vossi and everyone's touched on. We want to be a really consistent home and away side, regardless of where that finishes at the end of the year. It's felt like a more consistent year, even though that like it was chalk and cheese last year in terms of the first half to the second half. Where I feel like this year's been more consistent. But yeah, I touched on. I was just doing Triple M before and talked about momentum and how it's never been more important in today's game than teams with momentum and playing good footy at the right time of year. So it's you don't look too far backwards, but as I said, I think we've been really consistent majority of the year. So we're not far away.
Yeah. Joel had a question. I do want to talk about this.
How you going, boys? It's Joel from Carisbrook. Harry, just wanted to say that was a ripper goal on the weekend from the boundary. Got goal of the year, absolutely sewn up. Real question this time. What does your training blocks look like from, pre-season, mid-season to now, end of the year, preparing for finals? Does, your workload get heavier, lighter, or does it stay pretty consistent? Go Blakers.
It's Joel. Usually that's a hypothetical, Joel. From
Carisbrook. Yeah, he's
right.
He's a hypothetical guy.
Yeah.
Touch on the training blocks first of all. What do they look like at the moment?
I don't know what Ben thinks, but it's still with three or so games left in the season. It all depends on how long the break is. So
yeah, right.
You still this time of year you've played a lot of footy, a lot of training. It's been a long block, so everyone's got some soreness and some niggles and stuff. So it's just about doing as much as you can while still giving your body enough time to recover for games, because games are still the priority. I know there's obviously a week off between finals and the end of the season. So if teams are in that position, I think that's the block that they look to get a little bit more work in. But still with 3 or 4 games left in the year, it's very much dependent on the block, what you've come out of and what you're going into, and the sports science team. There's so much data, and it's a different world. So they look into it so in depthly.
We've had either a 6 or an 8 day break the last 4 or 5 weeks, which has been really interesting. So.
Would you just prefer 7 every week if you had your way?
Nah,
the variety's good.
Yeah, I agree. The variety's great. I think it was the Adelaide game. We played Friday night and we had an 8 day break. So I feel like after a tough loss, you just want to get back into it and get on the move and sort of, move on a little bit. But after a good win, obviously you don't
savor
mind.
it.
Yeah, a little bit. But for example, this week, I remember feeling sort of after the game and even this morning that we got a 6 day break, but that's sort of good. Like we're, as I said, we know the equation. We want to get back to work again and get after it. So I think it is situational, but I'm like Harry. I like the difference in break every week.
Yeah.
Now that goal, quarter time siren, probably one of your better goals I've seen you kick.
Thanks,
it was a ripper. And then MJ's immediately jumped on the group chat and just said he's copied Ben's goal from the TAC Cup.
Yeah, well, was that 3 weeks ago?
We spoke about recently.
And I sent it into our WhatsApp group with proof. So
it was like 12 metres out and he dribbled it through.
You said 40, didn't you?
Yeah, he said
it felt like 40 back when I was 17. But it was unique. Harry, it came off Harry's hands, so he went up for a contest, and I roved it beautifully on the left. I'm sure this will go on social media.
We'll put it up. But then you've curled that one through, and then Joel touched on it. Now goal of the year is part of the equation. Have you been nominated before in a week?
Yeah.
Do you remember when it was?
Do we generally think this is going to be goal of the year? Like, not taking the piss.
I'm not sure.
It's a fair bit on the line now, 50k, and
I was saying it's more than what used to be like a
I'm
couple
saying,
of
like,
pies and a pie warmer,
yeah,
wasn't it?
Yeah, I think Nick Nat got a year's worth of Weet-Bix for taking mark of the year.
Yeah. we do love Weet-Bix, but
Oh yeah,
a
there's
year's
only
worth
so
is a
many
lot.
you can have.
30 in morning.
I think
Round 8, 2022, I'm hearing was a nomination for you.
what was that one?
Yeah. It looks like
2022.
it was against Adelaide, and in the second quarter, Mackay went up for the ruck tap, ran onto his own ball, and slotted a seamless banana through the big
Oh
stick.
yeah.
Good goal.
That was all right. Yeah.
Here it is. So yeah, are you hoping that Carlton fans are going to vote? And
Is it all voted now?
Is it all voted?
don't
I
know.
actually don't know.
I'm not actually
I'm
sure.
out of the loop.
Yeah. Don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can vote for it if you want.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say
I
no.
won't be, but
Yeah, no, you're still busy voting for
Bobby Hill.
for Bobby Hill.
Yeah.
I've used all my
Here you
votes
go.
up.
Here's your last goal of the week nomination. Oh, that's a tidy goal.
Tidy. Play back again.
Yeah.
No, I
I didn't
didn't
give it
say-
much.
We've got a ball up inside 50, about 40 metres out. You're up against O'Brien. Pick
So,
up a loose footy.
Quick kick, yeah.
It's
Yeah, it's
fine.
fine.
This one, last week was better.
Do you reckon if it wasn't on the quarter time siren, they would have celebrated it more? Because they went to the ad break straight away.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I feel like if that was middle of the quarter, they would have probably got around a little bit harder.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
wasn't
obviously,
watching
yeah,
it.
yeah,
I was
yeah,
playing.
no, it's more a spectator point of view.
The other big talking point from the weekend, and you were playing at the exact same time, Harry, so you wouldn't have seen it, but you may have seen it, Ben, is the Swans result. I'm not sure if you've caught up. It was something like 71-0 at
I
one
checked
stage.
the scores, and I saw it was 71-0, and I thought it was like a typo. Like
It looked like a
I
glitch.
refreshed my
Yeah.
the scores, and then I flicked it over, and it was 71-0. So crazy.
Just extraordinary for a ladder-leading team and a premiership favourite to concede a score like that and then obviously go on to lose by 100 plus. So what are your takeouts of that? Is it one of the more mind-boggling things you've seen in your careers?
Oh no, I just reckon it shows how even the competition is, and if you're 5% off, 1% off, 3% off, you can get whacked between the eyes. And I think every team's probably had moments or games this year that has proven that, and I reckon the weekend was no different.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it goes back to showing the competition and how strong it is and how even.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what was that?
Oh no, Tommy! He's just
that's-
the sound effect in
Done,
our
done,
ears.
always good work.
Always good work. No, good diplomatic answer, but yeah, just an
crazy,
extraordinary
yeah.
result.
Yep.
Carlton playing Hawthorn Sunday at the G. That is your next
That's
game. So that is just
huge game.
finals equation.
Yeah.
It's just a monster.
It's going to be huge, and we're in the heritage jumpers, so
Yes.
it's the 160th year celebration of Carlton. So it's going to be a big day. Nice to have a red footy for the first time all year.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So what's the time cutoff?
So anything behind 320 is red.
Is 320 red?
No, that's yellow.
That's
Actually,
yellow.
this is a great conversation.
kidding?
I think Laura Kane from the AFL said anything after 3 is a yellow ball. I remember when Port Adelaide played Hawthorn, and it was a 3:20 time slot in Melbourne, but the time difference in Adelaide meant it was a 2:50 start over in Adelaide, so they used a red ball in the 3:20
Right.
time slot, and I was so confused, but because the Adelaide time started 2:50, it was a red ball. So
Local time, yeah.
yeah, local time. which is crazy.
So there's like 2 games a weekend that'll have a red ball.
Yeah, there's not many.
Well, obviously, if it's under, it might be a 1:45 game at Marvel, but
Yeah.
All
obviously-
Marvels yellow. Yeah.
All Marvels yellow. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. And then of course the grand final's red because it's 2:30.
Do you think it's strange that
Yeah, it
so
is.
the grand final's at 2:30 and there's not one
I know.
slot all year that's at 2:30?
And everyone's like, oh, it's traditional. It's like one game a year.
Yeah.
the least traditional time slot.
Is
Of the
that,
year.
yeah, it is. It's the least
They actually
traditional.
could just make it a 3:20 grand final, and that's
Yeah.
like because that's a traditional slot that Channel 7 gets for a Sunday game.
Yeah.
Finishes by 6. It's a yellow ball, so you get a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I think that would
It
make
was
sense.
nice on yesterday. having a bit of both. It was a day game for the first 2.5 quarters, and then as the sun set, it was like a nighttime game. So I really enjoy those time slots.
Yeah, so do I
That's good.
as a fan. I think Twilight's a great time slot.
Absolutely.
All right, Twinners and losers.
Ben and Harry's
I'm so excited for this.
winners
Birds often think I'm a treat.
and losers.
Mandarins. I just love them. Mandarins at the moment.
Mandarins.
Mandarins.
So good.
Yeah.
Bino, you
So-
want a new rock?
Yeah, I would love it. So we're doing like Olympic theme.
Yeah, we'll go
I think.
We'll do Olympic theme.
Yeah,
So,
makes
because it'll naturally sneak in.
Yeah. The talk of the town, Noah Lyles, obviously won the 100
Yes.
metre on Sunday morning. On Monday morning, sorry.
Yeah.
And I've got 2 parts to why he's my twinner. He came out and said in a press conference recently, the NBA world champions.
Yeah,
you
you got a lot
guys
of
aren't.
hate for that though.
And I love
Yeah.
that because I mentioned that a little while ago.
So that was him that
was
said
him
that.
that
Okay,
said that,
I remember
yeah.
the quote at the time.
Yeah, and I think I used it on here. and
Yeah.
I completely agreed. So that was one. And he put it on Twitter. This is a little bit serious, but I really enjoyed it. He said, this is after he won the event. He said, I have asthma, allergies, dyslexia, ADD, anxiety, and depression.
Wow.
But I will tell you that what you have done, what you have, does not define what you can become. So, like, I love how he's acknowledged what he has, but it's not going to
his faults.
Yeah, like that's pretty unique for a rock star athlete these days. So, I suppose it's a bit serious, but I really enjoyed when I saw that. So,
Yeah,
he's a pretty impressive person, I think.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice
nice.
start.
I'm a little bit hazy on the details, but obviously the Australian BMX rider.
Saya
Yeah,
Sakakibara. Yes.
great pronunciation. Yeah, but I don't actually know a heap about it, but apparently the story is quite amazing. So her,
It is. Yeah.
do you know much about it, or you
Her
can,
brother
you can probably explain a
Kai-
little bit better than me? But her brother used to race and
Yeah.
then got in a really serious accident.
The same sport and suffered just a horrible brain injury, which he's still recovering from. And then she had a really bad accident in Tokyo when she was favourite to win the gold, and then had a concussion and obviously had to withdraw. And so she's just been like dominating at world level, and then finally got the chance to have a proper crack at a final, and then she's just dominated.
Yeah,
Won
smacked
gold. Her
it.
brother was there,
Yeah.
embraced after the race. It was sick.
Beautiful story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
One of the better stories. But,
Yeah.
And we've had some good ones so far.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Aussies are actually dominating though.
I think it's going to dry up now.
Yeah.
I think
Once the swimming's done.
the swimming's officially over.
What's our best ever Olympics?
Tokyo and Athens, we had 17 golds,
What are we up to now?
and we're on 12 at the
We
moment.
might not get there then.
We might not get there. We've got
Final
I
would
feel
be
like this has
incredible.
been like, maybe I've just been following it more this year, but I feel like this has been like one of our best.
yeah. We've still got Matt Wern in the sailing, his favourite. We've got Nina Kennedy, his favourite in the pole vault.
Yep.
A couple of skateboarders might feature on the podium,
Oh,
hopefully with gold.
Would love to know how many silver medals we've won. It feels like we've won a lot of silver medals.
I think it's about 10.
I wonder what our record is
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah. So,
You'd
but-
think if 3 or 4 of them get converted into gold, like it's
Yeah.
a different story. But
yeah.
that's sport. But
We'll see. There's a bit of velodrome action. We might be all right. Bit of kayak sprint. We might pinch a goal.
Maybe
or
be
two.
sent in one of the teams, like the Boomers
A
or
team,
like the
yeah. Hockey
Yeah,
Roos,
Hockey Roos.
someone like that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's still a few chances.
Yeah,
It's
nice.
it's unreal though. It's been
Yeah.
such a great Olympics so
Yep.
far.
my loser then is just like the brutality of it in terms of
yeah,
if you're just a fraction off. I remember there was a couple of Aussie runners who one of our really good mates is
Stewie McSwain yeah.
runs with so Stewie McSwain
Yeah.
who ran and I just saw that I think he's got another event, so hopefully he does really well. But he was just a fraction off in the heats and got wedged in on lane 1 and got checked a couple of times and then
That was
missed the qualification and it's just done.
Is this 800? Is that his?
It
or
was
is he
1500.
1500? Yeah.
So like be so consistent for 4
Yeah.
years and then get a little bit of bad luck on the night
Yeah.
in the heats and he's done.
But even I'll back up my loser as well. So what's it called, the repechage?
yeah.
Yeah.
So he did the first heat in the 1500, lost, got into the repechage the next day, and if he had won that, he would have had to back up again the next day. He would have done 3 events in a row in 3 days. So
and then he does the 5K as well.
Correct,
on
yeah.
maybe tonight. And yeah,
so like
it's
it,
just a lot
it
of
was
running.
it would have been a brutal schedule, and no doubt that plays a part.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'd agree with that loser.
It would just be so tough. Like you train so hard for 4 years. Like the beauty about footy is that you have a bad week or whatever. 7 days later you can play again. Whereas for them, they have
one grand final every 4 years.
Yeah,
But even some of the times, like it's one, like obviously in the final, what was it like?
in the 100 sprint.
100 sprint, was it 0.5 of a
0.005.
0.05 of a.
Hey, what
yeah.
about the 100-meter sprint with the women's? How, what's the legend? Fraser Price? No, from the Jamaican runner. Didn't even decide to rock up because she wasn't allowed into the training.
Yeah.
I heard something. What was
Wasn't that
this?
strange? I'm not really across the story. So I've seen a few headlines, but it was
something like that.
it's
Yeah,
it couldn't just be that she wasn't let in.
Wasn't she injured? Someone said she was injured.
Possibly,
potentially.
Potentially.
Didn't rock
We
up.
sound a bit
Yeah,
out of the loop now.
yeah.
What's your loser?
Oh, I didn't have a heap, but that's probably it. I'll jump in the back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just jumping on.
Do you have one, Rollo?
Probably just the time zone. It's really annoyed me because Tokyo was so good. You could
2 hours
just
difference,
literally just sit on your couch through the day, and now it's like you wake up at 6 a.m. and it's pretty much
all
done for the
done,
day.
yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
no, it's good if you happen to find yourself up at midnight. It's
That was good last night.
glorious.
Actually, it could be my twinner as well. I was watching the tennis, Djokovic versus
I missed it.
Alcaraz.
Alcaraz.
He's
Yeah.
never won a gold, Djokovic.
No,
Yeah.
I've never seen someone so emotional after a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we obviously played last night, so I wasn't terribly tired. So I sat up and watched a bit of it, and he was so emotional. It was incredible.
Yeah.
Some of the quality of tennis though was unbelievable. So
Yeah.
I think those two will be going at it for a few more years to come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good on him. And the doubles boys, Ebden and Piers.
Yeah,
that was a
huge.
great. That was match point, and then a minute later, McGovern was having the shot. So it was
was
all
it?
in the space. It was
Right.
this crazy
It was all happening.
minute of sport.
Yeah.
Competition time. The match-worn Guernseys, as we touched on earlier, from round 13. What do we have to do, boys?
You have to listen to our podcast to hear the weekly code.
Yes.
Harry?
Well, I thought you were taking it.
No, I thought you were
Going one for one.
Took the reins.
No, but I thought you
Yeah,
were
no,
going to go
one for one. One for one.
That's what makes it so sound robotic. It's like, visit the link in the podcast description and fill out the details.
You're
Now,
speaking
Rollo
normally now.
goes,
your turn, mate. Yeah.
you can enter as many times as you like. And then
Yep.
Ben goes,
Oh,
this week's weekly
better than
code.
Rollo just saying it.
Oh, you were meant to because you took the initiative. Anyway, the word's like Ben.
We were just talking about the Olympics, and Olivia and Alessia had a question about it.
Hi Ben and Harry, it's Olivia
And Alessia.
and we're from Doncaster and our question is,
What's your favourite Olympic sport to watch?
thank you and
Go Blues!
It's a good one.
Great questions.
Because sometimes you just rediscover a sport that you don't see for 4 years.
Yeah. Probably haven't watched a heap of them. Like,
Yeah. If you haven't watched a lot live, it's
do
different.
you know what? It's an interesting sport. Is the water polo.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, but do they compete normally, or is it just like
How do you
every
mean?
couple of years they just decide, oh, we'll just throw the team together and is it like
Oh,
world
right.
champs or is
They'd
it just
probably
like
have an annual world champs.
That's what
wouldn't
I was asking about rugby sevens. Like, is there
Yeah.
a genuine rugby sevens league?
they? Oh, yeah. And they
Yeah.
play about 8 tournaments a
So I
year,
didn't know
the
that.
sevens. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a very common
I would have said
team sport.
my answer is probably rugby sevens because I haven't seen the sport much before. So I
It's
actually enjoy watching
relentless.
that. Relentless. Yeah.
Yeah.
More similar to our game than.
is it a
normal
full
rugby, I
size
think.
rugby pitch?
I think it
don't
is, yeah.
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 Potentially, yeah.
What about the slalom, the White River paddling?
Yeah.
Canoe, kayak.
I was looking at it the
The
other day.
one Jess Fox
It's
dominates.
tough.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so fun to watch. I reckon
Do
that's
you know
one.
they're actually kneeling?
Are they really?
Yeah. So
Didn't
in one of them in the canoe they're actually kneeling, and then the other one they're like lying.
Imagine your
I
core
did not know
strength.
that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's what makes her such a freak. She's
Yeah.
an absolute jet.
Yeah.
Jaquie.
Hey Ben, Harry and Rollo. It's Jaquie from Yarraville here. I've kind of lost my voice from cheering at the Bombers game on the weekend.
It's okay.
My question is, would you rather meet your sports idol today or play with your sports idol in their prime? It could be any sport, not just AFL. I also wanted to say, you both played really amazing games on the weekend and you should both be really proud. But the Bombers win actually made me cry and I was so happy for you all. So, go Bombers.
That's
Thanks,
lovely.
Jackie. That's
Thanks,
lovely.
Jackie.
What a
That is a
beautiful
lovely
message.
message.
Thank you very much.
Great question as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So it was. Would you rather meet your sports idol today, like a Tom Brady, as you guys have
Or LeBron, one of
mentioned,
those
or
ones.
LeBron,
Yeah.
or play with them in their prime, assuming you're good at the sport?
So I'm
that
playing.
they-
So I'm playing NFL with Tom Brady.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Just assuming you.
Yeah. I want to play with Tom. That'd be
Yeah,
sick.
I would want to play with them in their prime.
And you'd both be. What are we saying? Like
Tight
a,
end,
like a
probably.
tight end.
Yep.
Or maybe I'd be
depends on the
quarterback
sport,
and
yeah.
Tom might be like,
Tom's a receiver.
he'd be a blocker or something.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, that'd be
Jeez,
cool.
being a tight end for Tom Brady would be sick.
Actually,
Yeah.
who was I having this comment? I think it was that Rids and Andy McGrath around being like a 6'7" wide receiver. Like, it just doesn't happen in NFL.
Yeah.
I'd love to see it happen.
You got to be quick though. You got to be light.
Yeah, but you just put it in the air and because there's so many rules, offensive bias rules in the NFL. I reckon you'd be able to get a few looks.
Mate, just put it near me.
Put it near me.
Just give me a
toss it up.
chance.
Yeah, toss it up.
Toss it up, Tom.
Wouldn't be able to go with you.
Montana.
Hey, Harry and Ben. It's Montana from Taylor's Hill here. I was wondering if you guys ever experienced twin telepathy. Go Blues.
We've kind of touched on this before.
How do you say that? Telepathy.
Telepathy. As in you've felt or thought the same thing at the same time.
Yeah. None jumped really spring to mind. I'm sure there has been a couple, but we often do think like the same. Like even when we were playing Essendon and Carlton, when the first time we were playing each other, we had like a photo shoot on the Monday, and this photographer was being quite annoying.
Pain in the ass.
Yeah, essentially.
They might hear this.
Good.
Yeah, he wasn't.
He was one of the worst we've ever
appropriate,
dealt with.
yeah.
Oh, come on. Why?
You had to be there to.
Why was it so bad?
No, he was just Anyway.
Wow.
But I reckon at the same time, like Ben and I were obviously thinking it, and then like basically at the same time, we were just like said to each other, like, "Is this bloke serious?" Or like, so it just little things like that. It happens quite a bit, but like, yeah.
Because we were talking about those awkward photo shoots. It's like, how about Ben? You put your hand around his neck like you've got.
That's what he did.
Yeah, and he's like standing behind him and like lean over or something. I was like, man, I'm not.
He's like, what's one thing you haven't done to each other like since you were little? Like,
what can we recreate as a photo shoot
what's-
that you haven't done in one since you were a kid? I'm like, mate, we weren't doing photo shoots when we were 7, like in the backyard. And he's like, yeah, you go up behind him and like lean over and like hug him from behind. And I was like, mate, that's not really that appropriate.
I'd rather not.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, no, that's probably a good point. We actually get that. I feel like we get that question a lot, like the telepathy thing. Telepathy.
What is it?
Telepathy.
I don't know.
Twin telepathy.
Anyway, it's probably a good answer.
Yeah. Nathan had a question as well.
G'day, Ben and Harry. Nathan here from Ultima, lifelong Essendon supporter. Big fan of the podcast too. Great job. Hey, just wondering, that win on the weekend, Ben, was fantastic and the emotions would have been running high. Do you guys get to go out and let off a bit of a steam and celebrate together as a group, or do you have to go back to the club and recover and do all the boring stuff, get an early night? Good luck for the rest of the season to both of you. Thank you.
Thanks, Nate.
Nice,
Great
Nate.
question. Love the enthusiasm. No, it's pretty boring if you ask Nate, I suppose. It was straight into recovery, really. We got a 6-day break, so we're straight into your protocols of recovery. So
You can sit in the rooms and enjoy like each other's company, and but depending on the break, like it is rare like to go out and celebrate anything because you're pretty much straight into.
What if you had like a 9-day break?
Yeah, there's definitely opportunities where you could go and have a nice dinner or have a couple of drinks, or there might be like a function set up. Like you often once a month, the club might put on a function with players and partners and everything. So it really does depend on the week, but there's nothing better than that 20 minutes, half an hour after a win where everyone's just sitting there quite content with the night and talking a bit of rubbish about the game. So.
And knowing you can have your big blowout meal of the week. Is that?
Yeah, I don't think that changes particularly on the result.
But that must be a good feeling.
Yeah,
You've just won.
Earned it
You're sitting around.
Yeah.
Geez, I could get a Big Mac here.
Or a pizza or something. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a good point. No, but you're right, Harry. Depending on the break, but certainly there's times for some drinks with the group.
Nice. And finally, from Helen.
Hi, Ben and Harry. It's Helen from Pearcedale, long-time listener, third-time caller. Just a special request for Harry against the Hawks on Sunday, as it is my birthday, and I'll be sitting in M28 at the G near the goals. If you happen to kick a few snags, can you please give me a zoomie or a Harry Potter-style Expelliarmus wand wave towards M28? Thank you. And Ben, take the draw, bro. Take the draw.
Wow.
Done.
A lot from Helen. All right. Do you know where M28 is?
I do not know, but do you?
No, I don't know any of them.
Do some research.
27.
Yeah. Well, then, just for Helen's sake, she's a long-time listener.
Expelliarmus.
What was your celebration when you kicked the one on quarter time?
It cut away from memory.
I'll go with heaps, but you're never going to be able to see it. So
he's done like
I did the 32 celebration. I did everything, but
done a knee slide
into the fence.
When they polish his boots, when
like a bowling one.
We need to have a shot like that, and like you're still waiting to see if it goes in. There's a little bit of like a delayed reaction.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, did that go in? Oh, yeah, it did. So it's like, it's not as when sometimes you have a set shot and you know it's going in for, in the fly. But yeah.
Nice.
Nice, man.
Good show, boys.
Thanks. Yeah, shit.
Sweet.
Remember we're on Instagram and TikTok, Will.
Good.
Yeah, I don't think you need that.
Yeah, I reckon it ruins it when you say that.
I agree.
Because it makes
I'll stop.
Stop completely.
Because it makes it sound like it's a bit patronising, I reckon.
Yeah, it
I'd
is.
agree with that.
No,
At least you know that as well.
I think it's warranted.
But
maybe early on, but like
I feel like I'm pretty consistent with doing this now. So.
Okay, yeah. You reckon you've got a handle on it?
I don't know about that.
Well, you go for it then, Bean.
Don't call me that.
String Bean.
No, don't say
Instagram and TikTok at Ben and Harry Podcast.
Nice.
Done it again. We need to wrap up.
I'm done here.
Yeah.
See you later.
Leave us a review. Hit the bell on Spotify. See you later.
Nice.
Go Blues.
Go Dons.